Oh,
Had it get rolling, driven, whatever, so Q&A, so.
here, you can do
Testing. All right, this is good. So glad that.
You want to tell us where the
Light
light
right in my face. That's perfect. Slide over right here. All right, guys, welcome to Q&A. And I'd like to thank you guys for coming and finding your way here, because I know it's a super big convention or FandomFest. So thanks for coming. I'm glad to see some good old school Power Ranger fans. Who's the Power Ranger fans out there? Yeah. I saw him clapping too. Very cool. So I think today a few people are asking me what's going on. So I do have my schedule. I tried Instagram. Let me take a picture for Instagram for all you guys. But I'm not getting good reception in here. Who's dealing with that problem?
Right here.
Yes. I saw the Wi-Fi. I mean, you can buy it for like, what, $200 for like 3. I'll take one over here. You guys like go like this. Like put your hand up like that's one. I'm gonna take another one. Social media. You guys, first of all, my Facebook page is Jason David Frank official fan page. I'm sure you all know. I do post all the time. So last night I threw a couple videos. So if you are in the video from today, just log on a little bit later and check out my Instagram. It's JDFFFN. Anyway, questions and answers. Oh, the photo op's at 2:30. I guess I found out, so I'll be at the table in the other big room, whatever room that is. I'll take one of you guys over here. Hold up 1 second. Hold on. Hold it. Hold it. So hungry. Participate with us. All right, perfect. Well, let's get started today. So many questions you guys have. I guess we'll just raise our hand. Thank you. Thanks for the water. I guess we'll just raise our hand and ask away. Yes, sir, in the back of the green hair. Is he green? I can't see.
Blue. It's not
Blue.
green.
So,
So I'm really curious about your mixed martial arts career. What made you decide to start fighting professionally?
you know what? When I started Power Rangers, I had 2 schools. I owned 2 karate schools, and I was already fighting back in the days. In fact, when I started Power Rangers, they had to teach me about not hitting the stunt guys. So I was kind of the real guy that came on the show and had to learn Hollywood Kung Fu. So that's when it was like, oh, Hollywood Kung Fu. So kind of learned to smile when I hit the putties so I didn't look too violent. That was very, very important. We did some awesome takes with just, and they said, you have to look more, smiling for the kids. I'm like, okay, you want me to smile as I kick? No problem. Ethan, right? No. Yes? Well, okay, what's your question, buddy? How did I make the Megazord? Well, see, Zordon was our mentor, and was like, okay, here's your Zord. And I was like, man, I want mine to live in the water, so then he made me my own, the Dragon Zord. And I said, well, how do I summon the Dragon Zord? And he said, blow the flute. And I said, I don't blow the flute often, but when I do, it's Dragon Zord time. So that's kind of what happened. Welcome, guys. Take a seat. All right. So we have Ethan's question. Well, let's get a question over here. Yes, in the back.
Since you've had the most colors of any Power Ranger, what color would you really want to be if you could get another Ranger series?
Well, I did wash the red and white suit together and it came pink, so I just wear that on the weekends. From 12 to 2. No, I'm just kidding. I'm pretty happy with all the colors. I went back to Super Mega Force, if y'all know. Next year on Nickelodeon, they'll release the 20th year Mega War. And of course, I was the Green Ranger, which was pretty cool. And then there was clips of the White Ranger. Not too sure about the storyline. I did read the script several times, so maybe some fans will have lots of questions of, to this storyline, didn't make sense. But after all, we are fighting big, giant water faucet monsters, and Pudgy the pigs, you know what I mean? So, all right. Any questions from the people that just walked in? Are you looking for Stan Lee? Because this is the wrong room. Are you guys? Thank you. I love that laugh. Laugh again. Oh, I got it. All right, very cool. We'll go, yes, in the red, little girl in the red. I see you back there. What's your question? Well, most of the time, was it on the set? Or on location? Oh, green screen. Well, they tried putting me on green screen and I disappeared. So that was the problem. You only saw like my dragon dagger floating around, and that became an issue. So we did shoot on location a lot, and I try to stay away from the green screen, you know, because then I'll be invisible. Like in Dino Thunder, I was invisible. Don't know why. I know why. I had to go back to California. We filmed in New Zealand. They're like, "What are we gonna do?" I'm like, "Well, make me invisible." And they're like, "Good idea." So anyway, that's why I was invisible. Yep. Oh, yes, sir. Yeah. Well, the cool thing about me and why I think I interact so much with people is because I'm an average person. You know what I mean? I mean, I grew up with not a lot of money, and I never did acting for the, you know, I want to be rich and famous. It was never like that. So I didn't expect much when I went into it. I just wanted to do my job. I didn't go on strike, nothing like that. I just wanted to do the best I could in the martial arts and the acting, and it was kind of cool to be a superhero at that age. But when we went to Universal Studios, there was two things now, because I've never been asked that question. I went to Universal Studios and we packed the house out. It was just huge. You know, people were banging on the car, and in my head I'm thinking, what is all this about? You know, because you got to think about it. If you guys were all banging on the car now, you'd probably tip it over, but y'all just little kids, so it didn't, you know, it didn't matter. You know, it was kind of like, you know, it was kind of like that Ghost TV show, you know, like it was like, we couldn't see the heads, and it was like, what the heck's going on? Little kids were like, you know, we're looking out the window, we're like, is that paranormal or whatever? I wish I knew Grant then, when he could have told me. So I realized then it was huge at the time, and but I also realized that it just wasn't that, you know, there's always tomorrow. So you can't act the way you're gonna act, like I'm all big time. And so I just did my job, and I don't associate myself like when I watch TV. It's not me. What's me is, you know, of course, when I do the Q&As, or it's just, you know, my little girl watches it all the time. And then the second thing is we went to Hawaii. Me and Amy and Dave. Amy's very popular. I know she's very busy and stuff. I like to do something with her, but I've always embraced the Green Ranger from day one, behind the scenes. Green, 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 you know? And I went to Hawaii and I got off the plane and I was like, what's going on over here? It's like the whole airport was flooded, like 5,000 people. We made like headlines. So I was thinking like the Beatles were here. I'm just coming out like, ooh, you know, what's going on over here? You know, when you kind of see a fight going on in school, you're like, where's the fight going on? You know, and next thing you know, there's like people like, little kids on top, you know, dads, and all I remember is walking, hey, and the little kids were like, sign this, and they were poking me in the eyeball and everything. That's all I remember. I was like, no problem, buddy, no problem. It was like, boom, boom, and they're like, you know, and of course I try to take care of everybody, so we gotta go, and I'm like, oh no, man, this is awesome, signing, you know, autographs and stuff, and so that's what it was. And then this year has been blessed, and last year, and people always ask, like other Rangers, like, how do you have 160,000 fans? And how do you, well, when I started fighting, I started Facebook, and I put a lot of work on Facebook, 2-3 hours a night. And it doesn't matter if I did a show with no people or everyone, it's still the same. And that's how I teach my martial arts class. 1 kid to 1,000 kids, you teach the class the same with just the amount of energy as you had with 1,000 people. So I spent a lot of time in social media, but I've also spent a lot of time on genuine friendships, relationships with my fans, and always let them know, because without you, I wouldn't be here. And I've heard stories about different celebrities that were like, you know, I mean, I've heard backstage, different celebrities that just, you know, I don't know. I mean, I've been turned down a lot of pictures for Instagram by people, and I'm like, okay, I'll never watch your show again, even though I don't. But, you know, it's just, there's an image of a superhero. And I've met so many people like Van Damme. That was the issue before Van Damme came to my movie premiere, and he acted like it was his, and I was a big fan, and he just kind of ignored me a little bit. And I was thinking, oh, you know, Van Damme. And so I met a lot of people. I don't want to disappoint different fans. Every time you guys come up, it's a different relationship. And, you know, I can't be like, well, I've already done this 1,000 times. What's your favorite color? Well, dude, go on Facebook and look. I've already said green 1,000 times. If I said that, it would be terrible because I'm not that type of person, you know. And so I think when people ask how do you do it, it's like you just gotta pay attention to your fans. That's how you do it. I mean, in reality, you guys make things happen. I mean, I got a call from Saban, the legal department, saying, tell your fans don't call. I mean, we can't do business. The phones have been lighting up for 2 days. And I was like, well, I didn't tell them to call. They asked me for your phone number. It's public. So I had to, like, you know, tell everybody in post and stuff like that. And it's cool and it's a good feeling to know that you have so many fans that will come back and you know, see you and all that stuff. And I do remember every experience that I have with people. You know what I mean? And I see a lot of faces, but I do remember, and it's great to see. I was at your other con, I came back and just wanted to say hi. And regardless if you guys, you know, bought things or not, I love hearing your skydiving experience, that you skydived twice and he's getting his license and, you know, stuff like that. Trey, you want to say for an iPad? DJ True. Chicken. So, next question. We'll take you way in the back over there. Props that I borrowed? They were all mine, first of all. They didn't give us a lot of things, but I do have a lot. It's just, I was like, what the heck? How did Dragon Dagger get in my bag? You know, stuff like that. And I'm so fortunate, you know, it was weird just walking around. I think my wings were just knocking things into my bag, you know. It was just like, oh my gosh, you know. I have a lot. I have the Dino Thunder suit, or the Green Ranger suit from the show, but see, these guys are willing to, I think, give me stuff, you know. Should just ask, but I didn't see it. I have the original Green Ranger spandex, you know, from the old school days, and I got a lot of, you know, White Ranger boots from the movie. I mean, I was the type of guy who would, like, you know, take a crystal when Zordon was laying there just to keep it. It wasn't my thing to be like, oh, you know, this stuff's gonna be worth something, you know. But then I went to San Diego Comic-Con. I'm trying to, you know, give back to the fans, doing a few raffles. I got a lot of cool things to give away. I'm interacting. I'm more excited when I was there to get these toys. All the other guys are like, ooh, and I like, you know, got like 10 morphers and all the toys and collectible cards for people, and you know, just I'm more excited for my fans than I am about, you know, give me a morpher. You know, I'm gonna hog them all up, you know, because all my fans were like, San Diego Comic-Con exclusive. So I was there doing media, which was very different than doing a con and being on hands. It was just stuck in a room, give me a Red Bull, nobody in there. It was like, you know. But I like interacting with fans, so I hit the floor and just sign stuff, and it was pretty cool. So, yes.
You've got a lot of body art. Tell us about one that's particularly meaningful or memorable.
Yeah, I think the best one is my little girl on my chest. You know, I have her, and it's very close to the. She hates when I take my shirt off on a bike. She's like, "Daddy," but I don't, you know, kissing and stuff like that. And she was a little girl. She had, like, you know, the pigtails in her hair, and you know, I used to do up her pigtails for her and stuff like that. And I think the coolest thing is when my brother played my brother on Zeo, and you know, he obviously passed away. My brother's a tough dude, like he's a fighter and all that. And I always remember when he had a kid, Erica, who you saw on Niagara Falls Comic-Con, she kissed me on the cheek and was like, "Does your wife know about that girl?" You know, and it's like, I just posted that and everyone's going crazy. You know, it's my niece, you know, she's a pretty girl. And I remember her 20 years ago, my brother's a big, really fighter, and he's doing her hair and braiding it. And I saw that and I was like, dang, you know, that's the way I want to be.